Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about something you'll definitely be using later this year. We're doing a deep dive into the iOS 26 preview.
That's right. We've got Apple's own preview materials here, their sneak peek.
Exactly. And our job today, really, is to unpack what's actually significant. You know, what changes are really coming this fall.
Cutting through the hype a bit.
Yeah, exactly. We want to focus on the new look, the intelligence aspect, and the features that genuinely change how you use your iPhone.
They call it beautiful, delightful, and instantly familiar, but also with even more magic.
Right. So what does that mean in practice? Let's figure it out.
Absolutely. And the first thing they really push is the visual change. This new design element, liquid glass.
Liquid glass. Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting. What does the source say it actually is? Like, what's the feel?
Well, it's less about a strict definition, more about the effect it creates. They describe it as combining the optical qualities of glass with a fluidity that is uniquely Apple. So think expressive, maybe dynamic across the whole system.
And it's not just like one specific spot. The preview says it's on the lock screen.
Yeah, lock screen, home screen, control center.
Even in apps.
Even inside apps, yeah. The idea seems to be creating a much more consistent kind of flowing experience as you move around.
Right. Consistency. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And how does this liquid glass actually look? Any examples?
They give a few. On the lock screen, the time text can apparently adapt to your photo subject.
Oh, so it might tuck behind someone's head or something.
Exactly, or shift position to stay readable. And there's a new 3D effect, too, when you move the phone. Gives the photo a little depth.
Making the lock screen feel a bit more alive. I get that. And the app icons, they're made of this stuff, too.
Yes, crafted from liquid glass. And you get choices light, dark, a sort of color-tinted look.
Or clear.
Or clear, yeah.
No.
So more personalization for your home screen, but still within that new design language. And they also mentioned dynamic navigation and controls using this style. Supposedly simplifies things, keeps the focus on your content.
It sounds like it's all driving towards that shared look across the system they mentioned, making things feel smoother, especially if you jump between, say, your iPhone and iPad.
Definitely. The look is a huge part.
Yeah.
But maybe the even more significant part, beyond just the visuals, is what they're calling Apple Intelligence.
Ah, yes. This is probably the more magic bit they talked about. The idea is it's effortlessly helpful, right?
Yeah.
In communication, images, shortcuts.
Those are the three key areas, yeah. And it's woven right into the core apps. Take live translation, for instance.
Yeah.
The source says, imagine getting a message in another language. Boom, automatic translation right there in Messages.
Wow.
But also live translated captions in FaceTime, and even spoken translations during phone calls.
It's actually huge
Yeah.
for talking to people anywhere, really.
It's a big barrier removal. And they also talk about expanding visual intelligence as part of this.
Visual intelligence. What does that mean day to day?
It builds on Apple Intelligence,
Yeah.
but it's focused on what's on your screen right now.
Oh, okay.
The preview says it lets the system understand what you're looking at. So you could say, search across apps based on screen content, quickly add an event to your calendar from some text you see, or, and this is interesting, answer questions based specifically on the stuff displayed on your iPhone at that moment.
Well, hang on. So it's not just searching my stuff or the web. It understands the active context right now.
That seems to be the idea. Understanding what's literally in front of you could really change how you get quick info.
Yeah, or act on details without switching apps. And this intelligence stuff goes into creative things too, like making images.
Exactly. New ways to express yourself visually. They mention Image Playground, where you can mix emoji and text descriptions to create unique images. And discover other styles, including ChatGPT styles, apparently. And they specifically call out Genmoji, using AI models to make custom emoji-like images, maybe even inspired by people you know.
Genmoji. Okay.
Yeah.
AI making custom reactions or pictures based on descriptions, maybe even friends. That's definitely a personal touch. And shortcuts. How does intelligence fit in there?
Well, intelligent actions within shortcuts can now tap into these AI models.
So what can they do?
The preview mentions summarizing text, creating images, or getting AI-driven responses, all as part of a shortcut workflow. It gives shortcuts more powerful, context-aware tools.
Okay, so Apple Intelligence is about the phone, understanding you and your immediate context better, offering help, new creative options. Makes sense. Let's shift to communication then.
Yeah.
They frame this as less noise, more fun.
Yeah, and this tackles a really common pain point. unwanted calls and messages.
Oh, yeah.
The source details call screening. It automatically answers unknown callers for you.
Without ringing first.
Right. It asks their name, why they're calling, then sends you a notification with that info. Then you decide, take it or leave it.
Okay, that sounds like a genuine improvement for dealing with spam or unexpected calls you might actually want.
It really does. And linked to that, there are tools for screening new senders in messages and phone.
How does that work?
Basically, it detects potential spam and gives you more control over who actually shows up in your main messages list or your recent calls and phone and FaceTime. Tidies things up.
Keeping the clutter down.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about when you are trying to call someone, like customer service, hold assist?
Right. If you're stuck on hold waiting for an agent, hold assist keeps your place in the queue.
So you don't have to listen to the music.
Exactly. And it notifies you when the agent is actually ready to talk. Less pain waiting.
Definitely less pain. Anything else for like group chats or making messages more interesting?
Yeah, polls and messages get a nice upgrade. You can create them in group chats, people can vote and add their own options to the poll.
Oh, that's easy.
And you see the votes update live, makes group decisions easier. And you can add backgrounds to conversations now.
Backgrounds in messages.
Yeah, built-in ones or your own photos. Just for a bit more personalization and fun.
Okay, so communication's getting smarter filtering, plus some better group tools. Next up in the preview was discovery. Step into your comfort zone.
Yeah, this covers features related to exploring, finding places again, managing entertainment, travel, that sort of thing.
Right, maps, for instance. Learning routes.
Exactly. It learns your preferred routes, like your commute. Then it can apparently warn you about big delays before you even leave based on that knowledge.
Predictive help. That fits the intelligence theme.
It does. And they also mention visited places in maps.
What's that?
Just an option to easily remember places you've been. You mark them, makes it simple to find them again later or share them, like that great cafe you found months back.
Gotcha. Okay, moving to entertainment. Apple Music gets Automix.
Yeah, Automix. It uses intelligence for seamless DJ-style transitions between songs.
How seamless?
The preview mentions time stretching, beat matching, complex stuff, basically, to make songs flow together without awkward gaps or clashes.
Nice for parties or workouts. And lyrics translation.
Pretty straightforward. Get translations for song lyrics right in the music app. Understand what you're singing along to.
Makes sense. Wallet's getting bigger, too. ID and travel stuff.
Absolutely. Big one is creating a digital ID using a U.S. passport.
For what?
The source says potentially for TSA checkpoints, verifying identity in apps, maybe even in person.
Interesting. And boarding passes.
Getting smarter. Integrated airport maps right on the pass. Find My Tracking for your luggage linked to it.
Oh, find my forward luggage on the boarding pass. That's clever.
Yeah. And shareable live activities so someone else can track your flight easily.
Okay, cool. And lastly in this section, a new games app.
Yeah, Central Hub. The preview says it helps you keep up with your games, see what friends are playing, get recommendations, and even compete in challenges.
So consolidating the gaming side of things. Makes sense. All right, so that covers maps, music, wallet, games, aimed at smoother discovery and interaction. Then the source just says, and so much more.
Right, the rapid-fire round of other updates. Accessibility gets some big ones. A new Braille experience. Vehicle motion cues.
Motion cues. For motion sickness.
Yeah, shows animations matching the vehicle's movement, supposed to help reduce that feeling. Plus more customizable reading options.
Okay. Families.
Easier child account migration, enhanced parental controls for communication limits, safety, app store stuff.
Good. Audio recording.
Better quality during video calls, apparently.
Yeah.
And HD recording in the camera app if you're using certain AirPods.
Which AirPods?
The preview just says specific models, likely the ones with the newer chips like H2.
Reminders.
Get some AI smarts. Suggests tasks based on text it sees on your device.
Oh, like if a message mentions a meeting.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And auto-categorizes items within lists for you. Save some typing.
Photos. Layout changes.
Updated layout, yeah. Library and collections tabs. And this sounds cool. Creating a spatial scene from a regular photo. Uses Vision OS tech, apparently.
Like making a normal photo 3D-ish.
Kinda, yeah. More immersive.
Neat. What else?
Those AirPods can also act as a camera remote now. Press and hold the stem to start-stop video recording.
Handy.
You can finally customize the clock snooze duration, 1 to 15 minutes.
About time. That's been requested forever.
Tell me about it. CarPlay gets updates too. Tapbacks and messages.
Those quick reactions.
Yep. Live activity support. More info at a glance while driving.
Okay. And journal app.
Gets multiple journals, inline images, in entries, and a map view to see entries by location.
Phew. Okay, that's a lot of smaller refinements across the board. They also list compatible devices, right?
Yeah, quickly. It's iPhone 16 down through the 11 series, plus the SE 2nd gen and later. So a good range.
Covers a lot of people. And a quick mention for developers.
Just says they'll love it, too, implying new tools for them to use all this stuff.
Which is key for getting it into the apps we actually use.
Definitely.
So let's try and wrap this up. We've got the new liquid glass look.
Yeah.
Aiming for consistency, maybe a bit more depth.
Yep. A fresh coat of paint, but system-wide. Then there's the really deep integration of Apple Intelligence.
Right. Changing how the phone understands your context, your screen. Offering help with communication, images, automation.
Fundamentally making it more aware, it seems.
And then just a whole raft of practical improvements. Communication getting less noisy, more functional. Discovery apps like Maps and music getting smarter. Wallet, journal, accessibility. Lots of tweaks.
It really feels like they're aiming for that balance.
Yeah.
Familiar, because the core is the same, but also new and more capable because of that intelligence layer.
Streamlining things, offering smarter help.
Exactly.
Okay, so final thought then, based on all this. Given how deeply this Apple Intelligence and visual intelligence seems to be integrated, understanding what's on your screen, translating live, suggesting tasks, learning your habits. How might your actual relationship with the information on your phone change over the next year? How you interact with it, what you expect from it?
That's a really interesting question. It's something to definitely think about as we wait for the fall release.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to Cozy Tech Talk Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with fellow tech enthusiasts. Until next time, stay cozy and stay techy.